Okay, let's talk about the remarkable world of fintechs. Dirk Steller, he's the founder and managing partner of Seed Space Venture Capital and joins us now to break down some of the latest trends that we're seeing. Dirk, welcome to Ticker. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Very, very well. Tell us about how the year has been for you. What are some of the trends that you're seeing in the fintech environment?
Well, obviously, it's been a massive year in terms of change. The COVID situation has brought massive changes to the amount of e-commerce that's being conducted, the number of people conducting e-banking, etc.
Mhm.
So it's really accelerated what we've seen as some long-term trends towards a digitization of the way we interact with money.
Have you been surprised at all? I mean, I think a lot of what we've seen this year is things have quickened the pace in many respects, particularly with e-commerce. Has there been anything that's taken your surprise with something that you've noticed over the past 12 months or longer?
Well, certainly the amount of increase in e-commerce, particularly. I mean, we've seen 60% increase in the use of e-commerce, and that's unlikely to reverse. So
Yeah.
that's a significant change in the way that we buy our goods and services. And all of that requires digital infrastructure in the background. So there's really significant work for fintechs to be able to support the businesses providing those services to customers.
And the launch of the consumer data right on the 1st of July 2020 was a watershed moment for the sector. What did this represent for Australia's current crop of fintech startups exactly?
So the consumer data right is a way for people to be able to get better outcomes for themselves from the data that's being held by the various actors in the economy. And in relation to fintech, what it essentially means is that the banks hold a significant amount of information on us as consumers, and the consumer data right allows us as consumers to access that data, or in fact give access to that data to third parties to be able to use that to provide us better services, more tailored services. So it's a way in which that the us as consumers can massively benefit from the huge amounts of data that are being held on our behalf.
And the federal budget, of course, has finished up now a few months ago, and it was, a big moment for many in the Australian economy. What did you see in terms of what the budget did for the Australian fintech industry?
So for fintech, it's been a great budget. There's significant focus on the digital economy, and that's really important. Focus is very important. In order for us as a tech industry and a fintech industry to thrive, we need government support. And this budget really does recognise that the government wants to support the industry. The government has seen that through this COVID period that e-commerce and digital banking and generally bringing a digital overlay to all of the work that we do is critically important to our survival as we move forward. So the specific things like the reversal of the decision to reduce R&D support is fantastic. The whole tech industry benefits from that. The government's specific support for blockchain projects, and also, as we mentioned earlier, significant additional money for the consumer data right. So it's been a really good budget from that perspective.
Yeah, good to hear. And just finally, SeedSpace is a passionate advocate of diversity, sponsoring the Female FinTech Leader of the Year award. How has your firm worked to help promote diversity and inclusion in Australia's sector?
So, as you mentioned, we're a sponsor of the Female FinTech Leader of the Year at the FinTech Australia Finnies Awards. A big congratulations to Catherine McConnell from Bright. We're very pleased to be able to support that. But above and beyond that, we really try to look for businesses that are purpose-driven. A great example of that is FairVine Super. It's a superannuation fund tailored specifically for Australian women. we see that Australian women generally retire with less superannuation savings than men, and FairVine Super has been created specifically to try and reverse that and assist Australian women to retire with a healthy savings pool. So, we really do look for businesses that are purpose driven as well as establishing themselves in a profitable way.
Yeah, it's an important industry, no doubt, moving forward. We hope it grows. It sounds like it is. Tell us more in terms of where we can log on, jump on the internet and find out what Seed Space is doing exactly.
Certainly, SeedSpace has got a website that explains exactly what we do, explains our portfolio companies, a whole list of fantastic companies that we're proud to support. So seedspace.vc, please come and check us out.
Great stuff, Dirk. Thanks so much for your time. We'll talk again soon.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for having me.